amazing. Hello, so lovely to
Hi.
meet you. I'm Jane.
Nice to meet you.
Introduce yourself as a
Yep.
person and then we'll go into motorsport.
So my name's Sophia. So I live in Cheltenham. I work in the tech industry, and I'm really into cars because my dad used to be a rally driver. So kind of
Ooh.
got passed down to me. But I currently marshal for Prescott Speed Hill Climb. So that's my local hill climb. And this year I've actually started competing in hill climb as well. So I'm about halfway through the season. I'm on my fourth competition now. So
Ooh.
yeah, it's really exciting.
How's it going? Are you happy with your progress?
I am. So on my first competition, my brakes failed going into
Oh,
S's. So I literally went straight into the Armco. It was really fun. But within 3 weeks, we managed to get the car back in one piece, and I was at the
dang.
next one. And it's been good since. So touch wood. It's been all
I will
good
keep my
since.
fingers crossed for you. So your dad was into rallying? Was a
Yes,
rally driver?
yeah. So he was a co-driver. He's
Oh,
Scottish, so that kind of explains like how he got into rallying, I guess. Back in the day when he was sort of like in his early 20s, he used to do like novice cups and stuff up in Scotland. So yeah,
oh,
that's how
that's
I got
so
into it,
cool.
really.
That's very cool. Is the rest of your family into motorsport, or is it just the two of you?
It's just the two of us. My mum doesn't really understand it. To be fair, my cousin's kind of into cars. So half my family are from Singapore, and cars is like a big thing out there, especially like JDM
Okay.
cars. So I've got like one cousin really into it as well. But other than that, not many family members.
One of those where it's like the three of you sit together at family events and talk
Yeah,
about cars.
yeah,
Everyone else just kind of leaves you be.
that's it.
How did you go from marshalling into competing?
So I've been living in Cheltenham for about 5 years now, and I started dating my current partner about 3, 4 years ago now, and it was his mum that used to marshal at Prescott. And
Ah,
she was like, "Oh, you should really give it a go." And like, I actually wear her jumpsuit now as well. It's like becoming
that's
like
so
an
cute.
heirloom. So I was like, "Oh, I'll give it a go." And I did one season of marshalling, and I think my boyfriend just got sick of kind of like being on the sidelines. He was like, I want to get involved. So then he started competing, and then I got
Yeah.
jealous that he was competing. So then I started competing, and I now do a bit of both. So I kind
I
of
love
switch
it.
between marshalling and driving whenever time permits. So
Is your partner still competing
he
and
is.
marshalling?
He doesn't marshal. I've already had a go at him for that. I was like, you need to,
Good.
give back to the community. But we're in different classes for now. We're going to be doing the same championship next year, so that could get quite
Oh.
interesting.
I say, are you quite competitive or?
Yeah, hugely. I mean, go-karting's worse enough. Like, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in real like motorsport cars. So
On weekends, do you
yes.
kind of marshal most of a weekend and then quickly pop off to do your hill climb and then go back to marshalling, or
So I have asked the question, and I'm not allowed to do that, unfortunately. So
no?
I
Are you
either have
not?
to marshal or drive. I can't do both. Usually, I'm only do a competition on the Saturday or Sunday, and I'll marshal the other day.
Yeah,
So it depends which way around. It's really fun, but by that Sunday night, I'm just ready to like pass
yeah,
out and hibernate for the week. So
yeah. Fully understand that one. So is it mainly hill climbs that you marshal? Are they? Have
yes,
you done anything
yeah.
else?
So I've only done hill climb so far. I've just got my grade one, which means I can start doing other disciplines. So I might
Congrats.
look into things like, I know Casa Comb's quite near me, doing sprints, that kind of thing. I'm not sure I'd try circuit because I've heard like horror stories of like you're just stuck in your little Marshall's hut all day. And I was like, oh, I feel like that's quite isolating. Like we get like a lunch break and hill climb. We get
Oh, I say, how does it work at hill climb? Are you put on post and that's where you are all day?
Yes, yeah. So I do both on the hill and start line.
Okay.
So if you're on the hill, you get sent up to your post, and then you're obviously marshalling all morning. We usually come back down the hill for a lunch break, and you go back up for the rest of the afternoon.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, I think I'm a bit sort of used to that now. I'm like, I don't know, I could do a whole day without like
I mean, okay, I'm mainly a pit lane marshal, so it's a little bit
Yeah.
different. But my partner's an on-track marshal, and it is kind of like they go in the morning, they
Oh,
don't
they
come
just
back
don't. I
until
heard,
the end of the
yeah.
day. I couldn't. They also have like a really small space, and I'm someone that really likes moving around. I cannot stand still.
Yes, yeah, and that's why
So,
I started doing start line marshalling because it
really,
keeps my brain so much busier.
yeah.
And like there's different roles within start line, so you can either be guiding the car up and telling the driver when to stop. You can either be chocking the car, so wiggling them and maneuvering the car back and forth, or you're clearing them for tyre warming. So we've got a tyre warming section at Prescott. So you'll be
Huh.
controlling the cars getting in and out of that, making sure there's no traffic jams. So it keeps my brain busier than if I were on the hill. So I do
Yeah.
definitely prefer it.
I definitely get that. I mean, I didn't know there was so much you could do on start line marshalling for like a
Yeah.
hill climb. I mean, I was watching Goodwood Festival of Speed, and
Yes,
you just
yeah.
see lots of marshals about, but you don't know what they're doing unless you've done it.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. It's I guess it's quite different with hill marching because we've only got one flag. So we've only got the red flag,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
so
that confuses me.
because there's only like one direction of traffic and there's only like one person going past you at a given time. So you've only got the red, which means stop. So
I mean, like, you don't have any other flags?
no, no, just the red
Seriously, not
flag.
even like a green flag to say like go, leave.
No, no. So we have lights at the start line, and that will
Yeah.
switch from red to green. But as for flags up the hill, it's just the red. And that's essentially we need to stop you because we're worried about you or your car, or something's happened further up the hill, and we need to
Mm.
stop that person before they reach the incident. It actually makes things a bit easier because you don't have to remember too much. Just the red flag.
Not gonna lie, so when you start saying like we need to stop you because you've got a problem, I'm like, right, it's the meatball flag, black and orange coming out. What's the number?
Red.
Nothing. Oh gosh, that sounds so nice.
Yeah, just the red flag.
That does sound so nice. So roughly how many like weekends do you do a year? I don't know. I've not been
Yeah.
to. Is it Prescott? I've not been, so I don't
Yeah,
know how much
so
there is there.
my home track is kind of Prescott. I sometimes go to Shelsley as well, up Worcestershire way. The season starts about April time, March, April, and runs all the way through to early November. And
Okay.
I try to marshal at least 1 to 2 weekends a month.
Yeah.
I try to get at least a couple days in. It's kind of dropped to maybe once every like 2 months since I've started competing, just because I'm like
Yeah.
different parts of the country and the stars never align. If I can, it's just I try to, that's how I started out. And I feel like it's really important because, without marshals, we wouldn't have competitions, we wouldn't be able to do our days. So it's my way of giving back as a driver as well. So
That's fair. How did you find like transitioning into driving from marshalling? Were you kind of going into it with a marshal brain of like, right, okay, so if I crash here, this needs to happen, or
yeah, and when I had my off, so when I hit the Armco, I was like, oh my God, I know actually it's kind of good because I knew exactly the process that was going to
yeah.
happen after that.
Would you say that's your most dramatic moment?
100%. Yeah. I went to like brake and my foot just hit the floor and I was on a
Oh,
part of track which was Armco either side, so I didn't really have many options and I was
oh,
going like nearly 40, so not super super fast, but fast enough to feel it when I hit the Armco. Yeah, it was just one of those things like I hit one Armco and then I hit the other Armco because it like bounced me to the other side and like I could see the bonnet crumple up and then there was just like
oh.
steam and I was like, oh, this is great. Like
This is a great day.
and like I span and I was literally facing the rescue crew. I did it really well.
I mean,
Yeah,
well done.
yeah. Calculated, promise.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
but it was quite like, how do I put it? Because that was my home track, I knew literally everyone at that track. So the
I mean,
rescue
that sounds
crew, the
nice.
marshals, the medic, the club secretary, the general manager. I was just like, oh my God.
How many people made fun of you for that?
It was the moment of, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And then the jokes started
Yep.
rolling in. And I was like, yeah, I should have stayed to Marshall, like, stuck to marshalling. I get it. Like, but it's quite interesting kind of switching from a marshal to a driver because as a marshal, you've obviously got a job to keep the driver safe, the spectators safe, and even the way you like wave the flag, you don't really think much of it. But
Mm.
actually, as a driver, you don't tend to notice the marshals because you're so in the zone of like looking at your
Really?
next point. You kind of appreciate how like firm you've got to be with the flag or how loud you've got to be with the whistle because
Yeah.
actually you're so in the zone you really need that to interrupt you. Very much more appreciative of marshals that do literally wave the flag like they're absolutely mad. It really helps get that point across. But also even more appreciative of when I had my off that, you know, they handled it with such great, you know, they drove my car with such care. They treated me so wonderfully. And I'm just like, oh, you just get another bit, like, you know, another level of appreciation when you do have like an instant like that of
Yeah.
those people being there for you and, you know, managing the situation. So definitely it's put things into perspective.
I love talking to drivers because it is another
Yeah.
perspective of marshalling, and it can give me so many good tips
Yeah.
that I just wouldn't think about.
No.
Speaking of your car, what do you
Yes.
drive?
So my daily driver is a Toyota GT86. That's kind of
Okay.
like my baby. I've put a lot of money into it, and that's kind of
Yeah.
like, you know, my little fun grocery getter. I've
Yeah.
also got a 97 MX5 that I'm currently restoring, stripping completely back, spending way too much money that I'm never going to make back on it.
That's no problem.
But then I've got two R53 Mini Coopers. There's a funny story behind that. I
Yeah.
initially bought one R53 Mini Cooper S that was completely stripped and caged, and I was like, oh, brilliant! I can just go hill climb this. And it
Yeah.
didn't meet the regulations for hill climb, so I ended up buying
Oh.
another R53 Mini Cooper S. But it works out well because when I had my crash, I could just lift parts and
Yeah. To be fair, you've already got a scrap car.
that's
You
it.
already
I've
have
got
the
a
parts
parts
you need.
car. So it worked out well for everyone.
I love it. That is fantastic. One thing I was wondering, so obviously I don't know what it's like for hill climb marshals, but as a track marshal, I have various things I get ready for my weekend, like I get
Yeah.
my box ready and everything. What's the kind of process for a hill climb marshal, and then how is it different as a driver in terms of
Yeah.
preparation?
So I always have this discussion with my other half because we always have this fight, not fight, heated discussion.
Yeah.
What is harder, driving or marshalling? And now I've experienced
Ooh.
both. He's like, so which one's harder? And I'm like, I can't say, they're both different. Um, so physically, I find marshalling a lot harder because you're on your feet all day, you're like switched on all day. So preparing for the weekend, I will literally, you know, bag full of snacks to take up on the
Yeah.
hill, caffeine, energy drinks, anything I could
Yeah.
possibly need that I
All of
can't
the
come back
sugar.
to. Yeah. And it's usually a great way to make friends as well on posts. Like, oh, I've got some
Mm.
biscuits. Do you want to have any
Do you want some
biscuits?
sweeties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like little icebreaker.
Yeah.
And but I do find like at the end of the weekend, I need like, you know, a bath, a chill out, put my feet up.
Yeah.
And it's so physically like exhausting for that short burst of like the Saturday,
Mm.
Sunday. What I find with driving is a bit more of like a longer struggle because you're trying to prep the car. And so there's a lot of
Ooh.
like random hours in the evenings that you're working on the car to get it ready for the competition. But
Yeah.
on the actual day, I find it easier as a driver than a marshal because in hill climb, you get maybe four runs throughout the day, and each run's like a minute at max. So you've got
Oh,
a
dang.
lot of downtime between the runs,
Yeah.
like chill out, get an ice cream. Like,
Yeah.
so on the day, I would arguably say it's easier being a driver because there's a lot more downtime, but then the preparation for the event it's more difficult being a driver because you're having to do a lot of like maintenance in the car, or you have to get your
Yeah.
tires ready, you have to like make sure your tools are packed, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about getting your car ready. Like, do you have a team? Is it just yourself?
It's me and my partner. And I say that
Oh,
because mostly my partner, he's an engineer, so he does a lot of
that
like
helps.
the mechanical stuff. I can do things like, you know, tire pressures and general
Yeah.
maintenance, but when I had my off, he was like an absolute champion in like getting it all back to, you know, a drivable condition.
Yeah.
So we will always do basic things, so like fluids checks, check the brakes work. Sometimes like bleed the brakes as well if it's been through like a few hot laps, that kind of thing. make sure we have tools ready for the day. So trying to think of everything that could possibly go wrong and bringing the tools for that. So anything from like axle stands, we've obviously bring the jack. I've got some race tires that I use as well that are a little bit more grippy than my road tires.
Yeah.
So making sure those are all like up to pressure and ready to go, check them, there's no like, wear on them or any sort of like screws or anything that I might have picked up. So it's just a lot of like mental checklists, making sure a lot of the times we've been away from home. So we've just come back from Harewood, which was a 4.5 hour drive. And I was like, if
Oh,
you forgot anything, it's a long way back
yeah.
home.
You cannot go get it.
No, so we were generally like, okay, what could we possibly need for this weekend? But the actual car, touch wood, it's been running quite well. We just did like a basic fluids check, make sure it's got enough fuel, and make sure it's just running nicely. And like I said, with hill climbs, it's really short stints. So
Mm.
you can kind of get away if things aren't 100% because you're not actually on the track for that long. You're driving very
Yeah.
hard for that one
Yeah.
minute, but there's usually enough time if things go wrong somewhere along the way to get back to the paddock and look at it then. But yeah, it's just the preparation of having to, because we are our own pit crew, of having anything and everything that we would possibly need. So
Yeah. That seems really difficult. I mean, how did Harewood go? All good?
Harewood was brilliant. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Really technical track. I think it's the longest hill climb in the UK as well. And it has a downhill section, so it goes downhill and then uphill. So it's kind of like a little
Ooh.
little roller coaster, but it's quite sort of technical. I was really scared when I walked in the morning because I was like, oh, I think this is the hardest like track I've probably driven. But
Yeah.
I chopped nearly like 10 seconds off my time from practice to my third timed run.
Dang.
So I was like really happy with that. I was in one piece, the car was in one piece. We managed to drive the 4 hours home. It was all good.
Hey,
Like,
that's good. So,
yeah.
how much of a difference do you tend to find in your first lap of a week of a new track
Yeah.
versus your last fastest lap?
So it's literally night and day. Like everyone takes like the piss out of me because on my first practice, it's like I'm going for a Sunday drive. It's like I'm not even paying attention to the time. I'm just like, oh, okay, let's see how the track feels. Oh, I'll
Yeah.
try this line. Oh, let's see what happens if I brake here. But I find it really good having that kind of sighting lap almost at the very
Yeah.
start, just to like figure out your bearings, especially if you haven't driven that track before. Just like trying to figure out your lines. Obviously, walking the track and driving it are two completely different things. And then I find throughout the day just like 1% improvement. So braking a little bit later into this corner, giving it a bit more welly off the start line, turning in a little bit quicker, and then just changing something each time, and then eventually
Mm.
seeing the time drop down, which is quite rewarding, really. So
That sounds very. I mean, okay, I don't feel like I have the patience for that. It sounds quite tedious, but like you said, it does sound quite rewarding when you get it right in the
yeah,
end.
definitely. It is really rewarding. And like, I think ever since my off on my first competition, I'm a little bit more wary at the start because
Yeah.
when I crashed on my first timed run, so I actually didn't even have a timed run for the competition.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, just take it easy, and then if I feel comfortable, I can continue pushing it a little bit more. So
Yeah. Get at least one solid one in
yeah, that's
and then
it.
try the new things. That makes a lot of sense. So, of the ones you've have you marshaled every track that you've driven?
No, no. So I've only ever done Prescott and
Ooh.
Shelsley, but I've
Okay.
driven a few more than that. So I've done track days at Coombe, for example. I've so far done Prescott, Gersten Down, and Harewood for my competition. And then I'm at
Okay.
Shelsley next month. So that'll be interesting because I haven't driven Shelsley before, only marshalled.
I will keep my fingers crossed for you.
Thank you.
But of the tracks you've driven so far, which is your favourite
I
and
think
why?
it was Harewood. And like
Yeah.
it's really annoying because it's the furthest away. So I can't even like go back.
Yeah.
But I just found it's a longer track, so obviously you get a little bit more seat time. And
Yeah.
because it was so technical, I just found my brain not switching off. It just kept me busy. I think a lot of the other tracks I've driven, and I do find it a little bit with sort of track days, is I find it quite repetitive of like doing the
Yeah.
same thing over and over again. And then with Harewood, it was like it was so twisty and it was so like technical that
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it because I was so engaged in actually the actual driving experience. So yeah, I think Harewood's probably been my favourite so far.
Fair. Speaking of favourites and things, what is your favourite part of a race weekend, both from a marshalling perspective and
Oh,
from a driving perspective? I know it's a really difficult
that is
question.
difficult. So I think from a marshalling perspective, and I'm again going to get the piss taken out of me, but we get free jacket potatoes at lunch. I
What?
know, and genuinely it is like the favorite part of my day because just a nice warm jacket potato with like cheese and beans, and then you're
Oh my
just
god.
chilling out, talking, and like having your jacket potato. Like generally, people are going to think I'm joking, but that is actually one of the highlights. Like, and just like talking to people and like just like
I get
catching
that.
up, a social aspect, but also if you get hungry and it's like it's so nice to just like refuel and then feel full and happy, then go back to the hill. So
Oh my gosh, there's some weekends where we're lucky if we get breakfast.
no,
If we
it's
get a
really
whole jacket
chill.
potato.
Yeah, we get jacket potato and then we have like tea and coffee in the morning whilst they're signing on. So yeah, especially when it's like cold or raining, that warm jacket potato is just
Oh,
like it's perfect. It's just what you
not gonna
need.
lie. Yeah, when I did the rally last like November, the cold sandwich I had just did not do
No. Oh.
I cannot believe I'm in the wrong discipline. I'm doing the wrong thing.
I think it's venue specific, but Prescott we
Yeah.
get jacket potatoes. I think others you get like coupons and stuff. But I think from a driving perspective, my favorite part of the weekend's probably, oh, that's really tricky. I want to say it's usually after my last timed run because you feel like a sense of accomplishment. I've made it, I'm in one piece, the car's in one piece, and usually if I've made an improvement as well, it's kind of a little like cheerleader moment of like, yeah, I did it. I made it through
Yeah.
another weekend. So
I like that. Going from favorite to least favorite, do you have a pet peeve at race weekends? Like that one thing
oh,
that happens and you're like, I hate it. I cannot.
oh, from like a marshalling point of view or a driver's point of view?
Both.
Both. So from the marshalling point of view, I when people go through the red flag,
Oh,
yeah.
right?
And like there's nothing you can do because it's a hill and it's like one way.
Yeah. Oh
You
my
just you've
god.
got to try. And obviously from a safety perspective, you're like, oh crap, that's like that could
Yeah.
be really bad. But
This
also
is a
it's just
problem.
like I'm here for a reason, please listen to me.
Yeah.
Like and like so I think that's kind of like my pet peeve and it puts me like in a really bad mood. Like, oh,
Mm,
no one's listens to us. Why are we here? Blah blah blah.
I get that.
I think from like a driver's perspective, messing up the start of a run.
Oh, because then you know it's like messed up for the whole thing. That must be
Yeah.
so
And the
annoying.
problem with hill climb is because there's like 2 hours between your runs, you can't even
Oh,
correct it for like 2 hours.
no.
So you've like messed up your start. You're like getting wheel spin or whatever, and you're like, what's the point? I've lost like 3 seconds on that. I haven't moved up the track. And then you just have to sit with that feeling for about 2 hours until you can go again. So I
That
think that's
sounds
probably my pet
awful.
peeve.
That sounds awful.
My partner did a lot of like circuit stuff back in the day, and he was like, "Oh, at least with circuits, if you know you've messed up a corner or your braking point, you can come round again and rectify it."
Yeah.
But with hill climb, you get like one shot, and then you've got to wait, and then you forget how you messed it up, and then you've just got to like do
No.
it again. Like,
No. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I agree. That sounds like the
yeah,
biggest pet peeve I could have as well.
yeah,
In terms of hill climb versus circuit racing,
yes.
is there a lot of difference? Do you still have things like track limits? Do you still have even like light boxes, or are you just flags? How are we working?
Just flags, really. I mean, we've had people spin and then carry on, and we're like, that's on you. You're just wasting time.
Yeah.
Like, if they spin off track and manage to sort themselves out, we don't sort of intervene. But obviously, if there's any barrier damage or if they spin and get stuck in the gravel, that's when we intervene. I think it's down to the clocks of the course, depending on if their run counts or not. So there are things like usually it's a single track, so it's quite clear where you're supposed to be on that part of the
Yeah.
track. But there'll be things like curbs or like solid white lines, and it'll radio it in going, oh, they hit the curb pretty hard there, and then it'll be up to the clerk of the course on their judgment of whether that counts or not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it sounds it. I do really want to come and do a hill climb at some point, which circuit would you recommend as a first one to do a hill climb as a marshal?
Ooh, that's interesting. I might be biased here and like I think Prescott's a really good one to be fair. It's
I mean,
quite well,
obviously the
jacket
jacket
potato,
potatoes.
yeah, obviously. We have a raffle as well, so you get
What?
free stuff at the end if you get the winning raffle number. And it's just the atmosphere, everyone's really lovely, I
Yeah.
find. And it's quite a straightforward track in the sense that it's quite clear where the posts are, who's where like the post coverage finishes and ends. And it's a flat start as well. So if you do start line, it's quite easy. For example, Gersten Down's a downhill start, so you actually have to hold the car back.
Oh,
So yeah, it could be a little bit off-putting to some. But Shelsley is
yeah.
another really great one as well. You get a free drink at the end of the day on the club. And if you don't want to stay, you can get like a little takeaway bottle as well. So either Shelsley or Prescott, I'd say, like definitely up there.
I will add those to my calendar. To be fair, hopping back to favourite things,
Yeah.
what's your favourite event that you've attended, both as a marshal and as a driver?
Ooh, okay. Um, Favorite one as a marshal. So we do a rally day at Prescott and they do timed runs in the day and then timed runs in the night.
What?
There's like no lights on the track whatsoever. So people like soup up their cars with like LED bars and everything. And you get loads of like Group B rally cars there. And it's just a really awesome
Oh,
event. And like
that
everyone's got
sounds
like
amazing.
underglow and like, LED on their wheel spokes. It's really cool. So I think that's my
Okay,
favorite event from a marshal's point of view.
that's fair. That sounds amazing.
I think from a driver's point of view, a bit of like throwing a spanner in the works. I did a bit of Formula G, um, like not
Oh,
too long
okay.
ago. So when I first got this Mini, it was actually built to be a Gymkhana car. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, I'll just give Formula G a go. And generally, like driving at Formula G has been one of my favorite things. Like everyone's so friendly. And it's just you're just having fun and like trying to like drift a front wheel drive car around cones. It was just so much fun. It was like one wheel peel all the way around. Like
That's fair. It does sound quite entertaining. How did do you think you'd do more of it?
I think I would. I mean, I'd have to consider my car choice. But I think I'd definitely give it another go. I think, everyone's just so supportive. They're there to like help you out and it's a fun thing to do. So
Yeah, that's fair. To the end of the day, motorsport is fun. It's enjoyable.
yeah,
That's why
yeah.
we're all doing it. What haven't you done yet that you want to do?
So I've like dabbled in like quite a few things. So I did track days in my GT86.
Yeah.
I used to do drifting in a little Mark 1 MX-5. Then I did a bit of Formula G, and then now I'm doing hill climb. I
Yeah.
think I really want to try like a historic car of sorts. So like a Formula Ford, I think is like the
Oh,
next step. I would absolutely love like
yes.
an open wheelbase. Like I want to get the goggles and everything. Like I think that's what I really want to try.
That's fair. It looks so fun. I always love marshalling like the historic days. They are some of my
Yeah,
favorite cars, and it's so
definitely.
nice to be able to see them and to hear them properly up close. Oh, back to my previous question. Is there anything you haven't marshaled yet that you want to?
Yeah, so my friend actually did Festival of Speed a few
Oh,
weeks ago,
I'm
and
so
I
jealous.
really want to just to say that I've done it. Like I want the whole
Right?
like white suit and like just to say that
Yes.
I've done it. I think that's definitely at least some sort of Goodwood event is definitely on the
Yes.
cards. Dare I say I'd probably give like throwing my hat in the ring for like Silverstone on the F1 or something. I think
Yep.
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, just like loads of like the pillar events that we host in the UK. I just love to give that a go.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just obviously it's really strange because I started my motorsport journey as a marshal and I've obviously kind of crossed to the dark side of driving.
We won't judge you too hard.
But I just have such a bigger appreciation for all aspects of like motorsport, like everyone from like the marshals, the clerks, dare I say it, even the scrutineers who just they're there to keep you safe.
Yeah.
It can be a bit of a pain, but they're there to keep you safe.
Still there to keep you safe.
And it's so interesting, like doing both sides of it. And I don't think I have a favorite. There's pros and cons either side. And yeah, I think definitely recommend if you're a driver to give marshalling a go and vice versa because it's just such a different experience.
Very fair. I like that. Some very wise words to finish off with.